Madam Chair.
I have spoken.
No, and I can't respond to you, Madam Chair. I wish to respond to you.
You can go ahead.
Yes.
You can go ahead, member.
I disagree with you that this has never happened. I'm not asking the minister. No, if you allow me,
Minister,
if you allow me, Madam Chair.
Minister, what you would be.
Bless up, ABR family and viewers. Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl, and Isabel Rose, and in this one, Juliet, Holness, and Fitz Jackson exchanged heated words yesterday in the Standing Finance Committee. Stay tuned for the details at hand. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Notification shout out goes to Ursel Bundy, big up yourself, Ursel, as well as Major Daps, big up yourself, Major Daps. Thanks for the continued support, each and every one. So in this one, ABR family, a big throwdown between Juliet Holness and Fitz Jackson over him being frustrated as to asking about 2 major post office and what would be done due to the bad conditions that they are in. And the fact that we know that we're heading towards a debate as it pertains to the whole finance. We're heading into a new fiscal year and all of that. I think when the finance minister comes with her team, then they would have provided the information or the answers to the questions that may arise out of whatever committee it may be. And to the manner in which Juliet Holness, who is the chairperson of the committee, is behaving towards Fitz Jackson, would seem to me that it's abuse of power. Now, I'm going to let you listen and look at the whole exchange for yourselves, and then on the drop phone comments in the comment section. Because what's the sense of the finance minister going to the standing committee with a team, and a question was raised as to what will happen at 2 post office? Why wouldn't the minister, or why wouldn't the team just give the minister the answer right away? I don't believe he was asking about the nitty-gritty of any spending costs or any expenditure, but to get answer as to what would have been done at those 2 post office who's in dire need of repair. And like she said, counters will be fixed, ACs will be installed, paintings and all of that. That's what she needed to say from the get-go. Right? I don't think Fitz Jackson was coming against the Minister of Finance. But the manner and the demeanor of Juliet Holness, and this is not her first rodeo. She has done it with Lisa Hanna. She has done it with Miss Curtis. She has done it over and over again. She has even done it with Faval Williams. And my question, when or who will reprimand her for them type of behavior? She's behaving as if she's talking to one of her kids or she's talking to her husband. That's not the way how you go about things. That's a gross overuse of power. Look at this and tell me what you think.
Usually in the budget presentation, for the recurrent expenses and also on the capital expenditure, a scheme of activities to be done in the upcoming year is set out. When I look in this estimate, 0. For example, activity 12-228, postal service delivery. We see a narrative there that speaks to nothing about any improvement, any scope of work to be done by that expenditure. Mail transportation services below, nothing at all. And quite frankly, Madam Chair, it leaves a lot, a pause for concern. As members of parliament, when we come here and look in the estimates, we want to see if any of those facilities in our constituencies are being provided for in the budget in the ensuing year. I have a post office in my constituency, for example, that is in badly need of repairs. Every time I go by there, the staff complain to me about the condition. I see nothing in this estimate that can redress that situation. And I don't know any other members of parliament might find themselves in a similar situation. Thirdly, Madam Speaker, I went up to one of the post office at Constant Spring. And I mentioned that in particular because we were told that that facility, being a relatively large one, a major utilization program would be put in place. I went and I saw some AC units being installed, and I quietly made some inquiry of the staff. What is going to be done here? Knowing very well what was said in this house about what will take place in facilities like that. They couldn't tell me anything. So I thought that since I'm a member of this house, I'll come here and get something. But regrettably, nothing is in here about what is going to be spent in fiscal 25-26 by the Postal Service. There are no blue pages here on it. None.
Member, if you look at page 15,039-4 towards the bottom, activity 10,159, rehabilitation, maintenance, and repairs, you will see that the expenditure there supports the engineering services unit, which seeks to ensure that electrical and mechanical facilities at the central sorting office and post offices island-wide function properly. The provision includes $134.6 million to repair 6 post offices, namely St. Anne's Bay, Negril, Montego Bay, Sandy Bay, Stony Hill, and Halfway Tree. Additionally, they are to procure 2 elevators and upgrade the fire suppression system for the central sorting office.
Well, thanks for that bit of information, Minister. I now see that nothing is there for Greater Portmore Post Office, and I see nothing is there for the one I referenced at Constant Spring, and all here are some other areas, but at least that provides a little bit more as it relates to.
But remember, remember, I also said that what was reported to me is that there will be minor renovations at 15 post offices. I don't have that list, but in addition to the major renovation, there'll be minor renovations as well.
I hear you, Madam Minister. But again, when we come here, we are not provided with global vague descriptions like those. Because there's a program of activities to be done. There are specific locations across the country. And if there's any planning whatsoever, the department can say from its inventory of facilities, these are what we are planning to do. So even if it is not provided here, we can go back to our constituents to tell them what is to come if there is a plan to deal with it. There is nothing from what you have indicated. That sounds like
all right, so member, I've been told that there is work that is scheduled for Greater Portmore and Constant Spring, and that will be supported by the NIDS program, because you know the NIDS is using our post offices for the distribution of the national ID, and in many cases, they do significant renovation work in order to accommodate that. And again, I was just being told that the Greater Portmore and Constant Spring offices will be supported by the NIDS.
Madam Chair, with all due respect, that response is begging of a response. Because to tell me that something is going to be done at Greater Portmore and can't tell me what is going to be done, something is going to be done at Constant Spring. Yeah. What that something is, nobody have a clue, but yet that something is being planned. What specifically is being planned? To come here and tell us that is regrettable.
So, member, additional information suggests that there will be renovation of the counters, there will be painting done, there will be ACs installed. Anything else? Right, to improve the whole aesthetics of these post offices.
Madam Chair, through you, I'm going to ask the minister if by the Minister of Finance is not going to be here for the rest of the day, and given that there are specific plans, as is indicated just now, that before this committee rise, a list of the scope of work to be provided, and those two post offices mentioned be provided to us before we rise.
Respectfully, member, that has never been done to any minister who sits in front of the committee. Never have been done. That is inappropriate. No, it is. It is inappropriate. It has never been done. The minister, yes, has to be able to give you responses that take you down to an element of detail. However, the scope of work for jobs normally would never come to this parliament for presentation in any committee. And if you would like to have that information, respectfully, member, minister, it needs to be requested from the ministry directly, not necessarily from the Minister of Finance, even though the Minister of Finance speaks globally on all budget matters. That level of nitty-gritty is unfair and unreasonable to come here and do that to the minister.
Madam Chair.
I have spoken.
No, and I can't respond to you, Madam Chair. I wish to respond to you.
You can go ahead.
Yes.
You can go ahead, member.
I disagree with you that this has never happened. I'm not asking the minister. No, if you allow me, Madam Chair.
Minister, what you would be required to do in respect of this head is to provide details as to the list of post offices or postal agencies and what is the budget for repairs or renovation, and that would be sufficient information for this session. If the member would like to know how much is to be spent on painting the AC and how much is going to be spent on cleaning the tiles, the member would need to get that information outside of this committee session.
May I respond to you, Madam Chair?
Next member.
No,
Next member.
Madam Chair, what is this we have here?
Next member.
Is only to be spoken to?
Next member.
You made a comment and I wish to respond.
Next
I not
member.
Going to be afforded that opportunity?
Member Jackson, this is not the space.
I merely asked to respond to a statement you made. Even that courtesy should be extended.
I extended the courtesy already, and you went into, you don't agree, and you're allowed not to agree. Next member.
So you're not going to allow me to ask my question of
Next
you, the chair?
member.
Are you not going to allow me to ask my question of you, the chair?
sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what your intention is here, Member Jackson. You know? No, he doesn't have a question to ask. Member Jackson, if you have a question, you can ask your question. My point remains, as it relates to the level of details you're asking for, that's not appropriate, and that is the decision.
That's what I wish to just say something to you.
Go ahead, member.
I was making the point, Madam Speaker. I was not asking the minister to present that to me today. I'm simply saying, if you will allow me, Madam Speaker, because every time I open mouth, you want to stop me. All I was asking, she got the information, she wouldn't have it. I didn't expect the minister to have it. It comes from the relevant department. And I was simply making the request for her to have from the department to provide it. I couldn't expect a minister to come here to give me detail on something that I asked for here. That has never happened before. And that is not what I was requesting of the minister. It is because the minister is representing the department. I am channeling my request through her.
Thank you very much, member. Thank you very much. Thanks for that clarity.